Autism's a communication disorder. When you communicate, you have a sender and a receiver.
There will be a low clicking sound.
Everything in between is lost.
This must seem like a dream at times, eh? Raising a girl without her mother can be incredibly hard.
I know. I miss her too. Shh.
This machine helps us sort out all the noise in the middle so we can hear Emmy. Have you tried the app with her yet?
Bad.
She only likes her pictures.
Let her take as many pictures as she can.
Bad.
She's always trying to say something.
Did you do this? Did you kill the cat? What are you looking at? How do you know if someone from the other side is trying to talk to you? She's an indigo, which means she's a conduit for spirits. Emmy? I think that you're sitting on a ton of paranormal energy.
Emmy!
You okay? Look at me.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for joining us today. Today we have something special happening. We have the premiere of Noise in the Middle, and we are joined right now by the director and the cast of Noise in the Middle. You want to introduce yourselves there? We have Marcus McCollum, the director.
Hi, I'm Marcus McCollum.
John Mese.
How
Faye
you doing? I'm
Hostetter,
John.
and
Hi.
Juliet Jeffers and Tom Konkle.
Hello.
So we wanted to pop on here. We have a really cool. We had a really cool opportunity to get permission to screen their new film, which has not been seen anywhere else before. Am I correct, Marcus?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. So this is the first time it's getting shown to the public, and we're going to show it here live on Kings of Horror. It's going to be exclusive to Kings of Horror for 6 weeks, and you can watch it for free on YouTube. Thank you guys very much for giving it to our audience and sharing that with our audience. We're really excited about that, and we want to kind of just start off by having a little conversation and ask you guys some questions about how you guys made this. So, Marcus, how did Noise in the Middle come about?
Well, we wanted to, Whiskey Tango, we've been doing commercials for, I don't know, some 18 years or so. And so both Mark and I have been in the commercial world. And I had slowly started doing short films because I wanted to move out of it and move into features. And so now I fully made the break about 3 years ago, and we decided to do a film. And I really wanted to do something. I mean, I had gone through times in my life. I'm a father of, 4 girls. So I have a lot of daughters, and I've had situations, where I was, and both me and my writing partner were put in places where, very challenging, and with social media and with all of the distractions, we found ourselves taking care of like, oh, I'm not going to touch that, except then the kids get into it. And now all of a sudden we're caught in the noise too. So we just, it started from there, and it was always a communication film. Right. And the story was always about communication and how we developed that. And that's like, where do you find that horror or that scare in communication? And my thought was, what would be the scariest thing in my life is to go through my entire life with my daughter, and on my deathbed find out that she was talking to me the whole time and I wasn't listening. And that would be pure, absolute, utter horror. And so, jump scares and all that stuff, to me, I just went, if I'm not conscious enough to hear my child and I get all the way to the end and I don't have a redo, how can I tell that story and give that warning to people? So it developed from there. And then, through research and just experience, it was like, everyone goes, well, why did you have, you have a nonverbal autistic child? And it was a great segue. First of all, it's the most perfect. It's the metaphor for the communication. I mean, there is none that you can think of, or you can actually have communication. So we developed it from there, and that's where we have this horror slant in it, which is, it can get beat up. It goes back and forth. One thing that's consistent, though, is that within all of this horror, there is these distractions. It's noise. It's continually, everything is bombarding. And this is about us as a culture, where every time you get a clue, you get knocked back 2 steps because you're in the noise. So that's the way it's, and so some people have a hard time. There's so much in the noise themselves that it's hard to follow track. So what's great about it, though, is we found the story, and we can, people are watching the film and they're seeing how this translates. And I think using that metaphor was an amazing thing for us to do, and really nail or hit the nail on the head with, Faye really just doing a fantastic job with a nonverbal autistic. No, I mean, there's been some reviews. There are, I've gotten some reviews from people that have said it's the best portrayal they've ever seen, and that Hollywood doesn't take a swing at this, and they certainly don't take a swing at lower functioning autistic children. And Faye did a fantastic job of, her biggest thing was I'll let her speak to that, was respecting not only the process, but, respecting what the disorder is and how to portray it in a respectful, but believable, and not, I kept telling her, don't hold back. Don't be, let it fly. And so she could tell you, I would always say, we'll go to 11 and come back to 9. Right. And she's always pulled that off. So anyway, and then of course, John Mese, and then we have Juliet in the background that throws it. It's just amazing. And then you got to have Tom Konkle for the comedy relief. And what Tom did was amazing too, because he just, you always love those characters back in, especially like, Spielberg, and you got these guys that are just they're characters, but they're so fun and real. And then we had Juliet, and you just got to watch her. I mean, I can't wait for her to grab that Academy Award at some point, because I'm telling you, just the dramatic performance in the middle of all this chaos was absolutely, I mean, I'm blown away. We did such good with what little we had. But when you watch this film, I think John said it best. I was trying to make an A-list small indie, or, an A-list movie, or an A movie,
and you did it.
Small movie. And I think we came real close. I mean, no, we actually did.
You guys
pull
did
it
a heck
off.
of a job. You
crazy.
really did. Yeah, you really did.
And we have a full original score. Bobby Free. Man, the music in this thing is just amazing. And then we're missing Tara here. She had a couple of auditions today, which is good.
Yeah.
So she'll be on some other interviews coming up, but she did an amazing job. Just came in and then anchored that little, being the mom in the background. But you'll see in the movies, it is actually metaphorically a massive part. Right. So anyway, that is my spiel. Now I want the people that actually doing the work.
Fantastic. Let's go to Faye here real quick, because we started kind of chatting about you. I was told just a second ago that this was your first feature film or acting role, or what was that?
This was my first feature film. I'd never been in a movie before this. So.
Wow. Short films or anything? Really?
No.
So did you want to act, or was this just something that kind of an opportunity that came up, or?
Well, I've been doing musical theater with the community theater in my area, and I've always liked acting, and that was always like my main talent. And then Marcus just asked me if I wanted to be in this, and I was like, yeah, sure.
Well,
it
was a great choice by Marcus, because you were amazing in it.
Hey, just so you know, I was watching her for multiple years before I made that decision closely, which she did not know. So
you knew she was ready for the challenge.
I had been looking at her. I knew that I wanted to work with her pretty much from the beginning. So it was what people thought I was nuts, but it's obvious. Watch the film and you'll see that I wasn't.
Yeah. No, you're incredible in the role. And for
that's the film to prove I'm not nuts.
You hit a home run, buddy. It was awesome.
It's very nice.
And John, you play Faye's father in the film, correct?
That's right. I played Faye's father, and it was an amazing adventure from day one when I got there. Marcus really thought this out. He had it all set up. And, he introduced me to Faye the first day, and I don't know. I have a 10-year-old daughter, and I think they knew that before we even got into casting. But me and Faye hit it off, and I don't know that I would have been the same in this film had I not had my daughter. I know that I wouldn't. So it allowed me to go, I would say, darker than I probably would have, because I just played the real moments with of frustration. And we've seen a couple of reviews that say some really not nice things about me, which I like. So yeah, it's been fun.
Whenever they slam you though, John, they always say, you're not going to like this guy, but man, it's great when he gets to the turn. But that's what I mean. You don't like it.
You actively hate me. And I think that's kind of fantastic.
Yeah. Can I just throw one little thing in there for you, John? When you having a kid, you being such an amazing father, the conversation was, where do you ride that line? And you did an amazing job, because most people get uncomfortable. Like real dad stuff is, I'm a dad with 4 daughters, and real dad stuff makes people uncomfortable, and so I was so great to see you shine. Anyway, onward.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're great in it, John. I don't want to give away too much, and I won't, but I just, the way that you play the father, and obviously probably the way that you wrote it and directed it as well, is just like, I didn't find myself hating you, but it was like I understood your frustration, and you play it very well to where it's like I kind of get it. Like he's been through a lot. This is tough, but you play it very, very well, and it's an interesting character.
I helped frustrate John.
You kept
I
him frustrated
him whenever I could.
Thanks for that.
I would get together often at 4 a.m. He wasn't expecting it. Yeah, when we were bunking together, I would wake him up at 4, and I'd be like, "Dude, are you frustrated?"
That ain't a lie. I think they were bunking together.
Yeah, and we would bunk together, and every hour I'd let him know when it was time to get up. I'd be like, "Hey, 3 more hours of rest, man, and then we're going to be shooting." And then he'd get really irritated, and about 5 a.m, I was like, "Hey, man, at 7 we got to be on set, so you better rest." And he'd be like, "Yeah." So then eventually, performance was just edgy and natural, believable, and just incredible. I love working with John.
It was just exhausting.
Look at this
and there's your comic relief.
There you go. The doctor.
Good guy. And then Juliet, I had the pleasure of working with her, and I swear I looked over at her and she would disappear. Like she would be sweet Juliet, and all of a sudden she would be this completely different person. And when you're acting, it's like tennis, you're hitting the ball over the net. And I look over and like a different voice, a different accent, the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I better be good now. Okay, her line. I think I have a line now. And then I would throw her a line. And then she was amazing. And then Faye tolerated me. You think she's acting in the movie? She's acting like she likes me in real life right now. That's how good she is. You would swear she's still talking to me. Look at that. She's incredible.
No, me and Tom are like best
No,
friends.
don't even compliment me like you always do. Yeah, no, I don't even want to hear it. She's amazing, and I got to see their characters at very different phases, because my character is essentially, in a film, you always want exposition. You want to find out about the world. You want to find out like what's behind the drapes. In this case, it's me in a creepy way, and they would come into my my space, which was this sort of psychic eye kind of bookstore, and I would see them and do this kind of information dump. And Marcus would allow me to, put little grace notes on the character, and we would play. And what we were really striving for was the feeling you get when you're feeling a scene that it's like it's improvised, but it really isn't. It has that energy and buoyancy. And so because they were so locked into what they were doing with their character, it did let me play. And Marcus, I'm told I've worked with him before. He keeps mentioning that we did some commercials or something. I don't remember, whatever. And so we did this thing called Raisin Brahms, where I played Brahms, and I crashed through a wall. I don't know if anybody's seen it. It's a meme online now. And we did all these crazy commercials together. And so he was kind enough to go, you know what? I've got a part for you. And unfortunately, it wasn't in this movie. But finally, I just went up and I was in this film. And I think he owes me a check.
Juliet,
I haven't got a check yet, man.
Yeah, you do owe me a check. That's right.
We got it.
Yeah, because I promised I'd said I'd work with you. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did an outstanding job. We've got to turn the light on Marcus for a minute because it is the birth process for this. Right. And he is a naturally funny guy, but he also he loves humans. And when he's trying to do a movie, he tries to find the humanity in it, or if it's a genre film, he's like, yeah, it's horror, but it's about people and it's about relatable horror, like relatable things. And one thing that is very important about this is he wanted to take the non-communicative part of Faye's character and make it real, in that it was really frustrating and put John on edge. And Juliet's character is very empathetic. She's an empathic person. And she feels the tension between them. And then Faye could not really break through and reach out to us as actors. Normally when you're acting, it's about making the other person look good. You're throwing something out there and they're throwing the energy back. Well, she's closed off. And Marcus made sure that the environment that was created, she felt safe to really seem like she was someone unable to break through that veil. She was unable to get to us. And so I brought a little bit of levity, because I think when you see somebody like that that's struggling, they just want to latch on to a light. They want to latch on to something. The reason we call her like an indigo is like she's this bright little light that you can't really see her light unless you're tuned into her frequency. And I think Albert, the guy that I play, he tunes that in, he dials that in before anybody else. And John doesn't see it yet. John gets frustrated with me, and Juliet is the voice.
Don't give too much away.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's really important, though, because the movie is about not being able to communicate, and it's about the struggle between John and Faye and Juliet coming in and trying to help that, all wrapped up in this beautiful package that Marcus put in it.
Well, and I think that leads to that's where you say in leading into Juliet, because I definitely, like, you were that anchor. You were the one that made it believable. Like all of this chaos and crazy doesn't mean jack until you walk in the room and lay down the law. And that's the way it was written, but I couldn't even imagine. So please, just your experience and everything, Julia.
Yeah, I think, when I think about Zandra, my character, that she brings the calm in the midst of the crazy, the static, the tension, And I think when Marcus chose to make her Jamaican, it sort of represents this Mother Earth kind of figure, and I don't want to give away too much, but working on this film it was an amazing experience. And Marcus, same thing. I did a commercial with Marcus way back when, and he thought about me for this role, and I'm so grateful. And I feel like we all sort of meshed, right? I feel like all the actors that are playing their roles are perfect for their roles, And so I'm excited about everyone seeing it.
Yeah. Well, and just to add with Juliet, it was the first, I've worked with so many actors and commercials back and forth, but it was amazing. She's a method actress, and the method is really, it's a very interesting thing, because you could say you're a method actor and you can watch them and go, no, you're not a method actor. All right, we'll work on that. So, but the way you present it, and she's just like the emotional scene. I'm like sitting there talking to her. I'm like, all right, we're going, I don't know what's going to happen. Boom, turned it on and got in the moment, and she was able to put herself there. So, like I said, you've got Tom that does this great. I remember Juliet from One Look. She was in a commercial like way back when. And I remembered her looking into she was my comedic relief. She did this great look. And I was like, I have got to have Juliet back. Called my casting director. And that's how it worked out. And her being, having history in the Caribbean and all of that lended to the Mother Earth and the feel, because her presence changes the movie, period. So there you go. I just love showering these people, because I feel like I walk on the shoulders of giants.
Everyone, you put together a really a very cool story, Marcus, and a really interesting, like, everybody is a very complementative character. Each one of the actors all do a fantastic job, but each one has a character, and they really go well together, and it makes for a really cool film. that we are very excited to share with all these people.
Can I throw one thing? Just a shout out to my DP, Doug Hostetter, and my editor and special effects, Jason J.B. McKee. We have like everything. This movie looks gorgeous. And Doug is, he's, as far as I'm concerned, one of the best cinematographers in the world. And he takes everything from a story angle. And that, obviously, he and I butt heads a lot because he does that. But we still love each other, and that's why we work together, But he took this on, and just know that the lighting and everything. I mean, he researched the living crap out of this, and he essentially contained light. He didn't use lights; he contained light. And when you see the vision that he put together with how he did it, I think you'll be blown away. And then, and of course. Jason was just unbelievable as the editor and VFX. I mean, everything is top notch. I mean, nothing got sacrificed in this film. Bobby Villarreal, who did the music, he did everything custom. It was fantastic. We had a great sound designer. I mean, if I'm missing anyone, please call me and kick my butt because I'm moving quick. But I'm saying that this movie encompassed a massive amount of energy, a crud load of. You're going to watch this and you're going to know this is a bunch of professionals. We've worked in commercials. We've worked in this. You're not going to get the production value, and how we put this together is, years and years, 20 years of me. And I mean, we're talking, with Tom and Juliet, we're all seasoned. So we're presenting you with, hey, this is our film. We made this from the ground up, and it's worthy. It kicks butt.
It's definitely worthy. And you guys all did an incredible job. And again, we're very excited to touch real quick on that DP of your director of photography. I noticed it's a similar last name as Faye's. Is there a relationship there?
Oh yeah, that's why I've been, like I said, Doug and I have been friends forever, and since the beginning. Doug shot my first film in college. Actually, he was a real DP, and I asked Doug to shoot my film, and he came over, and I paid him 1,000 American dollars, and I took him to Taco Bell to schmooze him, and I forgot my wallet. So he ended up having to buy my lunch, and he ended up shooting my movie. So the rest is history. We've been working together for 20 years, almost exclusively. So
that's awesome.
And I still owe him lunch.
And so Faye, is that your father, uncle?
That is my dad.
All right, that's what I assumed. That's very cool. Very, very cool. So,
yeah, no, it's good. It was a good combo. Just on that note, having Doug there. We are talking about putting somebody that's never been in front of a camera, that's never shot a film. I'm asking her to do a part that, any seasoned, huge A-list actor, actress in any capacity would have an issue with and probably couldn't knock it out. And she had her dad, she had me, which she's known since she was born. So, I mean, we had a lot of real trust on the set, and having Doug there. And I was just lucky. I mean, we're all fortunate because Faye's a world-class actress. She is literally world-class. And I know it. She's good. So there you go. Doug did the right thing by giving it a shot, I think.
Yeah, Doug was amazing. I see Jasmine in the chat was asking a question. Maybe Marcus, you could take it. How many shoot days we did and where the movie was filmed?
It's filmed in Spokane, shoot days we ended up with, I think, 18 at the end, and then I had 2 pickups. So we shot it in, I will say, 21.
Pretty fast. Yeah, that's
just
really fast, Jasmine.
16 days. Yeah, super fast. And that's a testament because I was using a fantastically seasoned crew who had just shot 5 seasons of Z Nation. Wow. So we inherited that crew in the background. We inherited Mark Dahlstrom, who's an amazing AD. We like I said, we had a very top notch. So you definitely, the film benefits from that. You'll see that we didn't lose anything on that level.
Yeah, very high level of production value. I hate to cut it short because I would love to sit here and chat with you guys all night long. But our movie is about to start in 5 minutes. And I just kind of want to tell the audience again to kind of remind them that, like, there's a link at the top there in the chat. Make sure you click on that link to get us over to watch the movie. All of these fine people are going to be hanging out with us and in the chat. So if you have questions while we're watching, send them some questions. Say hello. And we're excited to share this with everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much, and we'll chat soon.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
I got the movie. Have fun.
Take care, guys.
Thank you all.
Enjoy the film.